It's been a long and exciting weekend here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, all part of the Titus Grand Prix and the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire. We've had a bit of rain, we've had a lot of sun, and some amazing racing for sure as we get into the second half of the season. Hello, race fans. My name's Rob Howden, the voice of this USF Pro Championships, and alongside me, a driver here who has had one of the best weekends of his career, Max Taylor from VRD Racing. Point leader now in USF Juniors. You won both races on Friday. One more to go here today, but let's just talk about how the weekend's gone so far. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I've had an awesome weekend so far, but the job isn't done yet. We still have one more USF2000 race. We were able to maximize Friday, winning both races, which is an amazing feeling. It really is a testament to the VRD team. We're fast, rain or shine in all categories, and it's just awesome to be with them.
It'll be an easier day for you today. Both on Friday and Saturday, you ran one car, jumped out of that car, right to the next one, and bolted back in again between the juniors and 2000 cars. Just USF 2000 this morning. Your thoughts coming into the race? Any different plans with the success you've had?
Yeah, both of my races have been back-to-back, so it's definitely very difficult to jump back and forth, chug some water in between, and get going. I'll have a bit of a break into this one and ready to prepare myself really well for this USF 2000 Race 3. I'm really excited to get after it, and I'm going to hope for a good result for sure. I
know starting the season, USF Juniors was kind of that priority. I'm going to run USF 2000 as well. It's happening in juniors. You're leading the points right now. USF 2000, though, you're in the championship fight there as well. Could you have thought that at the start of the season?
No, I couldn't imagine the season that we're having right now. I'm so happy with the team and myself, and we're definitely going for both championships here, and it's going pretty good so far.
Every time I'm talking about you in the broadcast, I talk about how much you've changed from last year to this year. You and I have talked about the patience and the maturity you have. Do you have that in your mind when you're out there on the racetrack? Or you just feel that your split decision-making maybe is a little better than last year?
Yeah, I've learned and grown so much. Yeah, it's been an amazing experience with the VRD team. They've helped me throughout my entire career, and it's helped me to get in the position that I am right now in both series. So, yeah.
Best of luck today.
Yes, thank you very much.
We talk a lot about momentum and confidence, and Max Taylor has that right now, rolling into the final race of a triple header here at Mid-Ohio. From here, of course, we go to Toronto, then to Portland to wrap it all up. But one more race, Taylor, here from Mid-Ohio. After these commercial break, we'll come back with the full driver lineup.
You can feel confident Continental is the smart choice in tires.
Can they handle extremes?
Yep. Tested from the Texas desert to near the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Really.
Anything for the guy who finds that one pothole?
Yeah. Road hazard coverage has your back.
For real?
Absolutely.
Were they made by, like, a bajillion engineers?
Well, closer to 100. Continental. Welcome to the smart choice in tires.
Over the years, we've chased down a lot of dreams, each one leading to the next, all the way to our most electrifying dream yet. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue. Made to inspire the newest generation of dreamers so they can make their dreams a reality. The all-new, all-electric Prologue from Honda.
Well, race fans, welcome back to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course to cap off what's been a very busy USF Pro Championships weekend here, all part of the Honda Indy 200 and our Titus Grand Prix here at Mid-Ohio. My name is Rob Howden, joined by John Phippen in the booth here. Drivers have worked their way out onto the racetrack to cap things off. As I said, 7 races in total on the weekend. We've already had 2 races for USF Juniors, 2 races for USF Pro 2000, and now we're rolling in here for USF 2000. Triple header for those drivers here this weekend. And indeed, let's have a look at the grid because it has shaken up a little bit. We did have qualifying on Friday. The drivers, their fastest lap set the grid for race 1, second fastest lap potentially for race 2 and 3, but they went so quick in race number 2. Essentially, that was a qualifying session as well. The fastest you went there, all by lap times, they were quicker than their second fastest laps in qualifying on Friday. So here's how the grid lines up for the driver's speed from race number 2. On road number 9, we'll have Giovanni Cabrera Cabrera on the outside, the outside of row number 9. And indeed, Cabrera with a brand new sponsor here this weekend, Electric Cooling and Illuminations, Inc. They specialize in climate control and lighting. Thought I'd drop that in for a new sponsor for Giovanni Cabrera, the Florida driver for Exclusive Autosport in the 93. Alongside him, Maxwell Jameson, the Texan, for D-Force Racing in the number 12. Jameson on the inside, Cabrera on the outside. Row number 8 will have the rookie Jace Bacon out of Arizona in the number 7 for Jay Howard Driver Development. He'll start alongside the Californian Carson Etter in the number 57. All West Coast on row number 8. Etter for DC Autosport. Moving to row number 7 right now, the Brazilian Lucas Facuri for D-Force Racing in the number 10, starting 14, alongside Ayrton Hauk, who rolls in here 10th place in points. The Indianapolis, Indiana driver for DC Autosport in the number 58, rolling off 13th. Row number 6 will have Brady Golan in the number 18 machine, another one of the Texan drivers here for D-Force Racing, running both USF Juniors and USF2000 this weekend. His fifth race of the weekend for Brady Golan in the 18. He'll start alongside the driver who won USF Juniors last year. The USF Pro Championship Scholarship Colors won the money to move up to USF 2000 this year. That's the Brazilian Nicolas Giafoni for D-Force Racing in the number 1. Giafoni ready to attack from P11. Work our way into the top 10 right now. There is the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, number 91 of Joey Brienza for Exclusive Autosport. He's still in the championship fight, currently in the 5th spot. He needs some big results here working forward. Brienza now living in Indianapolis, Indiana, but the Colorado native starting 10th. He'll be alongside the driver from Australia. That's Quinn Armstrong in the number 11. Armstrong coming in here 11th place in points. He's had some great runs earlier in the season, some bad luck throughout the midway part of the year. Looking to recover here, starting 9th for D-Force Racing. Row 4 will have Sam Corey, 3rd place in the points. A couple of wins on the season here for the driver from Cornelius, North Carolina. Pabst Racing, number 23, Sam Corey starting on the outside. His teammate, Hudson Schwartz, in the number 22, the Pabst Racing driver, starting in the 7th position. There he is there. Hudson Schwartz alongside Sam Corey. Moving now up to row number 3 on the outside, driver who is still in the championship in both USF Juniors and USF 2000. 2 wins on the weekend already, doubled it up on Friday, winning both USF 2000 and USF Juniors out of Hoboken, New Jersey. That is Max Taylor in the VRD Racing number 3, ready to roll off from the outside of turn row 3 in the 6th position. And beside him will be Michael Costello, the driver on the podium this weekend in the number 8 machine for Jay Howard Driver Development. It's been a good weekend so far for Costello. He wants to cap it off in style, starting from the inside of row number 3. Row number 2, Elliot Cox, the number 67, the red, white, and blue Stars and Stripes machine. You will not miss that one on the racetrack. Sarah Fisher-Hartman Racing Development. Talked to him yesterday. This kid has been on the podium here this weekend. His 2nd podium of the year. He is going for race win number 1. Watch for Cox to be a little more aggressive here today, trying to get that win. He'll start on the outside of row 2. And on the inside, the driver currently leading in the points right now. It's a 44-point lead for the driver out of Coconut Grove, Florida. That, of course, is Max Garcia for Pabst Racing. 2nd-year driver, the number 24, with a good place at the championship points right now, but everybody's still breathing down their neck. The guy who's pushing right now made a big move up into 2nd. Huge victory this weekend. Evagoras Papasavas, once again, back on the top of the box here in USF 2000. He'll start on the outside of row number 1 because it is an all-Ohio front row. Papasavas from Loveland. And the other driver here, tough luck yesterday, but good pace, and that is Thomas Schrag for VRD Racing. He'll start on the pole position here, his first pole in USF 2000 competition. In the number 2 machine, Schrag and Papasavas on row 1. Yesterday, the shock cover came off, got lodged right in front of the rear wing, hurt his chances, of course. All straight line speed gone. Came into the pits, got that fixed, went back out, laid down a fast lap, and was able to go to pole position. So changing his fortunes, could be the first win here for Thomas Schrag. So Schrag and Papasavas row 1, Garcia Cox row 2, Costello and Taylor row 3, Schwartz and Corey row 4, Armstrong and Brienza on row number 5. Engines have started down here on pit lane, and let's bring in the voice of Mid-Ohio, Mr. John Phippen. John, always a pleasure to be in the booth with you here. You got 3 guys around the racetrack that work this facility so well, but again, great to work with you once again.
As always, Rob, like I say, we're, I think, in our 3rd decade of doing this together.
Yeah.
And it's always great to have you with us, and this is the culmination of the USF Championship races for the weekend. And as Rob said, we've got 3 other announcers around the track. Let's introduce them as the cars are off on their pace lap. As the cars leave our view, they come into the view of Rusty Bell. Good morning, Rusty.
Good morning, John. The car is pretty loud across track from me as the pace car brings the field out of the pit lane. I picked the cars up just as they come out of pit lane under the turn 1 Honda bridge, up into the 180-degree corner, the keyhole, then down the long back straightaway here, 3,000 feet. I'm just past the kink in a stand that's sometimes used for starts here on the back straightaway. And then they hit the top speed and the best passing and hardest braking area on the track as they lead into the S's.
Down in the S's is Tom Michaels. Tom, are you out of your hammock and up in your stand?
Who told you about that? Anyway, we're getting ready for some good racing here. We take a look at what is called Madness, the S's. They come down the long back straightaway. They have to get hard on the brakes and make the right turn into turn number 4. Up just a little bit of an incline as they come up 2 toward 5. A little bit more as they make that left-hander. Up and over the hill. They'll get light in the front end as they come over that a little hill. Down another hill into a right-hander. You hit the right-hander at turn 6, then turn 7, and then they head to the backside of the race course.
Overlooking the entrance to Thunder Valley is Steve Conley. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, John. It's a beautiful morning for some racing out here as cars get ready to roll by me. Pace cars coming now through turn number 8. As they come up over these hills, the car's going to get light. It has a tendency to get light, and they're getting onto the brakes very quickly there against that yellow curbing. They'll dive down into turn number 9 against the red-white curbing, and it is an opportunity to pass, but you have got to make sure that you are up alongside of the car in front of you, or there could be contact. It is a risk versus reward if you want to try to make a pass heading down into Thunder Valley. Cars will exit my view down through turn number 10, kind of like a kink on the back straightaway, then up towards turn number 11, back into your view, John and Rob.
Indeed, the Honda Civic Type R pace car heading off the racetrack, and we're getting ready to go racing here right now. Schrag and Papasavas on the front row, all Ohio front row. Time to go racing, folks. We're at it. Green, green, green. Immediately on it. They're working their way down under the bridge of turn number 1. Green flag has flying. A couple drivers a little late up to the tail of the grid. That may help them if there's any kind of incident here. And I believe that might have been Jameson and Cabrera weren't able to get to the tail of the grid. Here they come for the first time. Schrag's going to run the low line down the bottom. Papasavas will pop out to the outside. Little right front brake lock up for Papasavas, but tried to run the outside. It had great job for Papasavas running the rail on the outside of the downhill right-hand keyhole. They'll go side by side down the straightaway right now. Again, wheel to wheel as they work their way through the kink, turn number 3. Papasavas taking a bid for the lead on the opening lap. Schrag wants to hold him off. This time he goes to the bottom. Schrag will leak over a bit to the driver's right. He'll hold him off. Schrag will lead coming through turn number 4. A little bit of contact 3 wide coming out of turn 4. As you see a little bit further back there, as I believe that is Cox scrapping it out with potentially Costello. I get another move there to the inside of turn 6. Papasavas very aggressive on the opening lap. He knows he needs the points. He knows he needs another win to try to close back up. Schrag's going to hold the spot, and there's contact there.
2 cars off. We've got contact between the number 8 and 67 as they came into the corner side by side, throwing parts and pieces all over the racetrack. Costello stuck in the grass. He lost part of a wing, part of a body panel.
And there is Costello off the racetrack there. The contact coming out of turn number 8 through turn number 9. Costello damage there. You saw the wing pop up in the air. Caution flag out on the racetrack as drivers did get together over in turn number 8 and 9. That short shoot between them. One driver likely just checking up a little bit early coming through in there. Thomas Schrag still holding the lead. Evagor's Papasavas in second. So they come across the line, man, lots of contact coming out of that corner. Again, an opening lap, everybody pushing as hard as they can. Very tough. These guys obviously putting their heads down, trying to see if they can't find the way forward. And for a guy, again, like Elliot Cox, man, he was in the number 6 position in points, was thinking about that race win, trying to get it. But, John, as you know, everybody's fighting so hard on these opening laps. That's the chance you get up to pass here. You can't pass once we get into the middle part of the race, so the opening lap's always a good opportunity.
Yeah, you know, they were doing such a great job up through 4, 5, and 6 as they worked their way up through up into turn 11. They were side by side, and obviously that's where the contact happened and brought out a first yellow flag as they had a little trouble making the entrance into Thunder Valley, but they'll work it out, not a problem. As they work their way around behind the safety car, as Schrag with the lead. Papasavas in the second spot. Max Taylor, Max Garcia battling it out for third and fourth. Sam Corey just behind him. Ayrton Hoke is in the sixth spot. Joey Brienza in seventh. Nicholas Giafoni, the reigning champion of the Junior Series, up into eighth position. Quinn Armstrong drops back to ninth. Hudson Schwartz rounds out the top 10. Lucas Ficuri, the Brazilian, in the number 10 car in 11th spot. Then Carson Etter, Jace Bacon, Maxwell Jameson, Giovanni Cabrera bringing up the rear. But Elliot Cox, Michael Costello, and Brady Golan have not come by, all involved in that incident there at turn 9.
Yeah, Cox and Costello, two really good cars. They were on the podium yesterday. Like, these are two guys that could 100% have been in the conversation for a race win here today. But again, that's what happens here. This is the racetrack, John. We talk about the character of Mid-Ohio, right? The opening lap, either it's the start lap, the opening lap, any restart, that's your best opportunity to pass, right? So all these drivers on top of each other, not wanting to give an inch at all. And again, when you're in close quarters like that, especially coming through the hardest part of the racetrack, the car gets so light through 7 and 8. You're just dancing it, and on cold tires as well.
Oh, sure, absolutely. I mean, all of those could combine to create a recipe for disaster. And these guys have done a great job all weekend long. They've had to race in mixed weather conditions. We had really a wet racetrack here on Friday, and these guys had to deal with a wet and drying racetrack and all of the challenges that made. But we've had great weather for races yesterday and
John,
today.
Here's the replay right now. So we're gonna have a look at the replay. That looks like a little bit of a move to the inside. Yeah, it looks to me like Costello was trying to go to the inside of Papasavas and probably had to check up a little bit because he was kind of to the inside of maybe contact. As he checks up, here's the other shot of the replay. You're going to see that Cox really with nowhere to go. He goes to the inside, and then Costello coming back, I think, to the left of the racetrack. Those drivers make contact. The wings up in the air for Cox and the number 67. I don't know that there's really going to be a crazy amount of damage to Cox. You can see the damage on Costello. We're talking left rear. We got the rear wing as well. Cox maybe just the front wing, but again, he's lost all that time being stuck in the gravel trap. But again, that's accordion effect, right? Sure. Costello's thinking, okay, I'm coming in. He had a little bit of a tighter exit coming out of turn number 8. I'm going to try to set up, maybe make a move to the inside. Thinks better of it, comes back. And I don't care what series or what class, that's happened in that corner before where guys have come back across the racing line and you've had contact. They're just tough for two guys, Costello and Cox have shown, so there's the update right there. Cox back onto the racetrack, just rolled into pit lane. I don't think there's going to be much damage. They're going to survey the front of that race car, but it could be just the wing off the front of that car. So Cox may be able to get back out and get some crucial points in that championship fight, but indeed, a couple of drivers that could have been on the podium here today, just a little bit too eager on the opening lap.
Brady Golan climbing out of his car, so it looks like his day is done. There must be some damage to that machine, so he will not get back in it. Elliot Cox's crew working feverishly to see if they can get the front clip back on that car, but it's missing a lot of front body work, more than just the nose. So.
AMR IndyCar safety crew doing a good job to get that car out. They obviously pulled out Elliot Cox first. They know the damage to the number 8 of Costello. Based on the damage I saw, I don't know that they're going to be able to roll that one back. It looked to me like there was some more significant left rear damage. I don't know that it will roll back, but if they're going to pull it out like that, maybe it will. I don't see a tow truck there at this point, but I thought that there was potential terminal damage to that left rear. What we did do was get a half a lap in, right? We got a bunch of laps in, at least got up to turn number 9, turn 10 down into Thunder Valley. Thomas Schrag able to hold off a very aggressive, of course, Papasavas on the opening lap. He tried on the outside of turn number 2. He tried on the outside, or the inside rather, of turn number 4. Papasavas was going at him, but they are 1-2. Max Taylor into second spot. Max Garcia third. Sam Corey fourth. Ayrton Hoke up into fifth spot. Hoke started 13th to 5th, so all the chaos there. Hoke up +8. Joey Brienza started in 10th. He's now up into 7th. Nicholas Giafoni 8th. Quinn Armstrong 9th. And rounding out the top 10 right now is Hudson Schwartz. Just outside there is Lucas Ficuri in 11th. Carson Etter, Jace Bacon, Maxwell Jameson, Giovanni Cabrera. We're going to see, I believe, if Cox gets back out, we're going to see 60 more drivers still taking the green flag on the restart.
Exactly right. And, Schrag and Papasavas for about half of the lap were side by side, and did a great job of giving each other racing room. It's a testament to the skill and the situational awareness of these young drivers to give each other racing room side by side. Obviously, both of them going for the lead. but Treg able to hang on. So leading from the pole. Is this the first time he's led this season?
I think so, yeah. It's the first time we've seen him. First pole position for sure in USF2000 competition again. A track he's very familiar with. He's done extremely well here. He ran a F1600 championship race earlier this year to kind of get himself ready for Mid-Ohio and was able to, I think, sweep the weekend there at that event. He's a former F1600 championship title winner. He was part of Team USA. So Thomas Schrag comes in with all the accolades, the resume you would want for a driver in USF2000. He's done it all in F1600, which is such a fantastic training series. And there's our answer to the question right now. They are bringing the hook in for Michael Costello, damaged, I believe, to the left rear of that number 8 Jay Howard driver development Tatis machine, the USF22. Indeed, a tough one for him. I'm sure he's going to be super bummed with that because, again, like I said, such a good run yesterday. He's actually had a really strong weekend as well, bounced himself back up in the championship fight. He was further back there, but to have a couple of good runs like Michael Costello did, getting that podium finish yesterday. He had another podium finish at Road America. Didn't have a good run in the opening race here on Friday. But yeah, a couple of podiums in the last couple of weekends. I know that he was, of course, like every driver, kind of roll on that momentum, right? I just got a podium. I'm going to be back at it again tomorrow. When you get that podium and you haven't had that first win, that's what you start thinking about. Well, if I can get to the podium, I can win, especially when you start, in the front 3 rows. So for Costello, he'll be bummed. He'll be looking forward to getting up to Toronto for our next event. That race happening on the July 19th to 21st weekend, I believe. So the streets of Toronto beckons for the drivers in USF 2000 and USF Pro 2000, but we'll cap off this Tatis Grand Prix here still with a number of laps to go. A 20-lapper here, 3 laps down, make it 4 as they come across the line. Getting close to getting that scene cleaned up. We may be able to go back to green this next time by, knowing how quickly the AMR IndyCar safety crew gets things dialed in. Would not be surprised to see us go back to green when we get back around here.
Yeah, it was great to see Papasavas break through with that win, his first win on the season after being, really in the thick of it.
Yeah.
Especially in the early part of the season, on the podium for like 5 races in a row, and it just couldn't get breakthrough for that win. And he was really emotional on the podium last night, and with good reason. Big hug from his dad. I mean, clearly it's a win they've been long waiting for, and now he is right in the thick of the championship battle. He moves from 4th up to 2nd, only 44 behind Max Garcia. So if he can stay at the front or near the front for the rest of this race, he's going to close that gap even more.
Always a little more pressure, I think, for the drivers in their second year of the series, right? When you're a first-year driver, you're a rookie, you can always go back, hey, I'm a rookie, this is my learning year, I haven't been to some of these racetracks, I'm learning the drivers I'm racing with. When you're in your second year, the pressure is on, right? Because the focus is now from USF 2000 to move to Pro 2000 next year. You'd love to have that scholarship. It's worth a lot of money, right? We're talking about that scholarship for the drivers in the USF 2000 category, over $458,000, almost $500,000 to move up into USF Pro 2000. But for Evagoras Papasavas, such a great start, as you said. All those podiums, all those top 5s. He had a couple issues that kind of hampered him a little bit, but every time he and I talked after the podium, there was always that little bit of disappointment, like, I want that win so bad. I need that victory. And he looked forward, of course, to this racetrack, his home track at Mid-Ohio, as being a place he won last year. He turned it around and actually made it all happen yesterday with a big victory as well. So another one here, potentially battling with Schrag, could help him get closer to Max Garcia. And again, this championship starting to wind down. Only 5 races still to go. A doubleheader in Toronto, a triple header when we get to Portland at the end of the year. Pace car is off the racetrack. Time to go back as we are single file. The restart coming. Green flag flying, and a good jump there for Thomas Schrag. They'll lead their way out of turn number 13 down to turn number 1. And indeed, everybody lining up. Top 5 drivers, nose to tail. A little bit of a gap back there now to Ayrton Hauk in 6th, who, again, jumping up from his 13th place starting position. Hauk needs to solidify that. Look at the battle further back as coming down to the inside. Garcia, big defensive move to the inside on Sam Corey, his teammate, as they work their way up to turn number 1. Schrag, though, clean through the keyhole. Very good run for Thomas, and a solid early jump there, as Papasavas now having to battle it out with Max Taylor. The driver who has been so good here on this weekend is trying to get another one. VRD has been strong, as we know. A couple of wins for Taylor, both in junior and in the USF 2000 category. Wins for Nikita Johnson, back-to-back jacks in USF Pro. So VRD has been on fire, looking for their potentially 4th win of the weekend, or 5th win of the weekend. They already have 4. Could Thomas Schrag bring them a P5, a fifth straight win? Be huge here on the weekend for the team, trying to work their way up to the team championship as well. About a 6-car length lead coming out of turn 8 and 9. Schrag being obviously helped by his teammate Max Taylor, putting all that pressure on Evagoras Papasavas. Trying to get our first clean and green lap in. Obviously, the first lap went awry over in turn number 9. A little wheel drop there from Corey. Hauk almost gets into the back of the gearbox. He drops that wheel coming over the hill through turn number 11 and into 12. Corey did a good job to save that one. Elliot Cox back into pit lane with the car that had damage early. Took it out there, shook a lap down, and potentially an issue. I don't see the team going to work potentially on the car. No, he actually came in and, maybe a drive-through? That's
he left
drive-through penalty. Yeah, being just told right now, John, drive-through penalty for Elliot Cox. So that's tough. Incident responsibility. And again, the contact between he and Costello over between turn 8 and 9. They deemed it with the video that it was actually his fault. So listen, right now he's back onto the racetrack. So all he needs is another yellow to get back into the fight. That's for sure. So
unfortunately, he's 4 laps down.
Yeah. Well, he needs the laps, right? That's the key, right? Get as many laps as you possibly can. Keep getting the fight. Work with guys. Like I always say, even if you're a couple laps down, you get to the tail of the field. You got to keep battling with guys. You got to keep learning. You got to keep scrapping. You never know what can happen in terms of guys with the attrition. He needs the attrition to get up further up the field. Cox, as we said, was going for the win. How about this, folks? Down to the hill, turn 6. Let's go 3 wide. Why not? Early in the run, aggressive racing, and has left one driver off the racetrack. Which driver went off? Steve Connolly, you see that car?
Yeah, that was the 6 of Papasavas. He caught the curbing as he tried to come through there and just saved it, but lost about 8 or 9 positions.
Oh, tough one for Papasavas, John. They were 3 wide coming out of turn number 6, and you and I both know you cannot go over 7 3 wide. Somebody's got to give. Papasavas was on the outside of that corner, turn number 7. He ends up going to the grass. Papasavas, again, will put his head back down. Indeed, he lost a ton of spots. He continues to fall down the order. I wonder if there's damage. Papasavas down to 14th across the line.
Yeah, Cabrera just went past him, so clearly something's not right.
Tough one for a driver with remember, second place in points. All the ramifications of this, second place in points. Got the win yesterday. Papasavas with potential damage here. We'll try to get an update as they come down. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's looking at that car right now. There's got to be something wrong in the front geometry of the car. You can see him kind of wiggling back and forth, lock the brake up a little bit. So Papasavas with damage on the car. This is huge for the championship, as he was in the middle of a hard scrap with Max Taylor and Max Garcia. That's moved Taylor up to 2nd. Garcia goes to 3rd. Corey 4th. Hauk 5th. Brienza 6th. Giafoni up to 7th, Schwartz 8th, Quinn Armstrong 9th, and Lucas Ficuri from 14th, now up into the top 10. So a horrific issue there for Papasavas in terms of his championship. Being told this will be under review. That is going to be potentially the 6 of Papasavas and the 3 of Taylor. So the race control having a good look at the contact between those 2 drivers. Again, think about that. Evagoras Papasavas 2nd in points, Taylor 4th. If they see that Taylor is responsible for that incident, he gets a penalty. This is huge for Max Garcia. He's just trying to get as many good results as he possibly can. If he sees drivers around him having issues, having penalties, this kid's just going to pull away in the championship.
Exactly right. He's already got a 44-point lead, and he's looking to add to that right now. Max Taylor and Thomas Schrag in front of him as they come across to complete race lap 8.
John, obviously some insight from the guys on the course, potential flat tire for Papasavas. We've seen that with a couple of drivers here this weekend. We'll see if he comes into pit lane. They'll come right by us here at start finish. We'll have a quick look at Papasavas. Indeed, it could be a flat tire for him. They'll try to get that repaired and get him back out onto the track so he does not lose a lap. That would be key, because if we do get a yellow, he's able to fight back in. And he will work his way down here now, trying to see if he does have the flats. Potentially left front. Yeah, left front is down for sure. So contact there. Again, remember, he was on the outside to the right side of the trio that were coming out of turn number 6. So potential contact between he and Max Taylor. You can be sure the video is working up there in the tower right now. Actually, it's below us here for race control. We'll see how it all plays out. Indeed, the drivers again settling back in. Lap 8. The leader right now is potentially Max Taylor. I think he may have got by Thomas Schrag. So Taylor trying to continue this VRD run. Not only the VRD run, a personal run as well. He's had such a good run here so far. They'll work their way out of the corner. Max Taylor, your leader here in that number 3 machine. Schrag putting his head back down to close back up. Taylor leads, Schrag 2nd, Garcia 3rd, Corey 4th. Another driver slowing, a little issue there for Ayrton Hauk. Houck had an issue coming onto the front straightaway, and he's going to get eaten up by a couple of cars. Giafoni, Armstrong, I think Hudson Schwartz getting by as well, and that's a tough corner. John, if you get a little wide, drop a wheel there as well.
That's exactly what happened as he came onto the front straightaway. He dropped a wheel over the Gators' teeth, and that got 2 wheels off in the grass, and he had to get out of it just to keep from spinning the car, and that let him get freight trained by a bunch of the field.
Yeah, tough one for sure for Ayrton Houck. Remember, he started all the way back in 13th, worked his way up to 5th, and has now gone backwards with that issue there. So again, Taylor, Schrag, Garcia, Corey, and Brienza, your top 5, move Giafoni up into 6th position right now as the fight works down into turn number 4. Back to 5. Garcia putting a lot of pressure right now on Thomas Schrag as well. Again, the momentum that Max Taylor has, all that confidence, winning both USF Juniors and USF2000 on Friday. First time we've had a driver win in 2 different series on a day, and a driver is off. I think that may be one of the Jay Howard cars off in turn number 4. Potentially the 7 of Jace Bacon. Jace off the racetrack once again. A couple of offs throughout the weekend here for Bacon. That'll be full course yellow, and that's going to help out Papa Savas if he gets back on track. If he is indeed on track still, I don't know that he is. He looks like he may be a lap down. So here we go, rolling through. The yellow flag coming out, full course yellow. Taylor is your leader, and Jace Bacon off in turn number 4. Max Taylor the leader, Thomas Schrag 2nd, Max Garcia 3rd, Sam Corey 4th, Joey Brienza in 5th, Nicholas Giafoni in 6th, Quinn Armstrong 7th, Hudson Schwartz 8th, Ayrton Houck 9th, Lucas Ficuri rounding out the top 10. Bacon is out, and it looks to me, John, like Papa Savas is a lap back right now. Only 9 laps in the books for Avagoras.
Yeah, as he was really slow, having to go all the way around the racetrack. I don't think he discovered the problem until he got past the pit entrance, and then he just had to crawl around with that flat tire, and so that's put him a lap down, even though the Jay Howard crew did a great job of getting that tire changed and getting him back out. Unfortunately, he's gone a lap down.
So Bacon into the gravel trap in turn number 4 on the exit of the corner. And again, for some of the drivers who further back, we're watching Taylor, Schrag, and Garcia pull away. This is great for them. Giafoni gets a chance to get closer as well. We do have a replay of Bacon going off in that corner. We'll see whether or not there was contact between any drivers. Let's have a look at that replay as they come down the corner. Where is Jace at this point here? Coming through the corner. He's going to be a little further back. There he is, side by side, a little bit of racing there. He gets some contact. Oh, actually, that was not Jace's fault at all, as they were side by side coming through the corner. Not sure which driver. That may have been Carson Eder he was side by side with. But yeah, again, we saw a little bit of that yesterday. You're side by side through that corner. You're trying to get through clean. The guy on the outside can usually hold it. A little bit of contact like that, and Bacon, again, essentially along for the ride after the contact.
Yeah, exactly right. It's side by side there at turn 4. That's a potential passing move. You could ride the outside at 4. That puts you on the inside for the uphill run to turn 5, and that's a pretty common passing opportunity. And unfortunately, the guy from the inside, though, has to keep that car under control. If it drifts wide or the rear end kicks out a little bit, he's going to tap the guy on the outside, and they're either both going for a ride, or at least the guy on the outside is going to end up in the gravel trap.
And John, the interesting thing from our angle there, it's hard for us to really kind of say who was at fault, simply because it's a different angle. The driver on the outside could be pinching the driver down a little bit, right? Because it's a downhill braking zone where you're kind of trying to brake straight. But if you're pinching down the inside and that, trying to really crowd the guy into the braking zone, it could be the guy on the outside's fault. I think we saw some of that yesterday. I'm not exactly sure what ended up happening, but the battle between Simon Sykes and Lockie Hughes yesterday, I think they were both blaming each other. Lockie said that Simon came down on him a little bit, pinched him down. Lockie looked like he just kind of locked it up and came through, maybe got up on the curbing. So it's not the best angle for you and I as to play race control. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and like I say, anything we say doesn't really matter. The guys one floor below us,
exactly,
who've got the big video monitors, they're the ones going to make that decision. But
every once in a while, John, I like to try to bring the drivers up into that room, because I think they're driving out there thinking, well, nobody can see what I'm doing. And you go down into that room and you realize how many cameras, like you are 100% being watched every corner, every time. They can go back to any corner. If you think you're doing something and the race stewards don't see it, you are wrong.
You're not getting away with anything.
No, you are being watched in every corner of this racetrack. And again, thinking about our race race stewards as well. We're talking about veteran drivers and people that have been in the sport for a long time. You've got, of course, Bo Barfield, who's been a top race director, IndyCar, IMSA. He's been a race director for 20-plus years, a former USF2000 racer himself. You've got Charlie Kimball, who has been a IndyCar winner here at Mid-Ohio. Went all the way up through the ranks to essentially the F2 level in Europe, came back in a long IndyCar career. He's this year new for us as a race steward. And then, of course, Joel Miller, who continues to be a top sports car racer, came all the way up through the Star Mazda ranks. He ran for Open Wheel. So the people that we have as as race control, they've been there, they've done that, and they try to teach as much as they can. And it's tough to teach through penalties, but through our drivers' meetings, I love watching our guys watch these guys, because these guys know their stuff, right? And there's an opportunity to learn from three absolutely dedicated individuals to motorsports for sure.
And like you said, your point is well taken. They've been there and they've done that.
Yeah.
So this is a growth series. It's a learning series. These are young drivers coming right out of go-karting into juniors, and they jump up to this level, and then all hoping to move up to USF Pro. It's clearly an opportunity for them to learn racecraft, to learn the things they can and cannot do. Anybody can go out on a solo and turn qualifying laps. That's great, but you got to learn how to race with other people.
Yep.
And the race director's job not only is to police this and to assess penalties if necessary, but also use it as a teaching opportunity. At the next drivers meeting, hey, here's what happens.
Exactly that.
Frequently they'll show video. Okay, here's what happened last weekend in Mid-Ohio, and they'll show what happened and say, here's what these guys did wrong. Don't do that again. And that's how these young drivers learn, for sure.
All these drivers, again, racing for the scholarship we've talked about here, expecting potentially one more lap of yellow here. USF Juniors drivers who raced here this weekend, their scholarship worth over $263,000 to move to USF2000. These USF2000 drivers I had mentioned before, racing for over $458,000 to move to USF Pro 2000. And the USF Pro 2000 category currently led by Lucky Hughes, the championship there, worth over $681,000 to take that to Indy next in 2025. A lot of great partners as part of our program, folks. This year, our first year with Continental Tire. Thrilled to have them on board. And again, everything that they do for us, whether it's the race side, whether it's the street side as well. I will say that if you're looking for premium performance, now through August 31st, receive a Visa prepaid card by mail with the purchase of 4 qualifying Continental tires. Terms and conditions apply. Visit continentaltire.com for full details. Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires. VP Racing is the exclusive fuel supplier of all 3 levels of the USF Pro Championships. In 2021, VP expanded their role and became the official lubricant and coolant as well. In addition to VP Racing engine oil and VP Racing gear oil, this includes VP Racing's new line of Stay Frosty performance engine coolants. One of the things we will be seeing in the next couple of years, John, as well, is we have a new partnership with the Skip Barber Racing School. So they are the official school. Their series, the Skip Barber Formula Race Series, they offer a $100,000 scholarship for their champion to move to USF Juniors. We've just finally started up a new partnership. Sebastian Weldon won that championship last year, took the $100,000. Up front, pointing into the grid, of course, in USF Juniors. So we're going to see our Skip Barber program continue to bear fruit over the next couple of years. It's such a fantastic program, Skip Barber. One of the great things about it is in those series, no contact is allowed. If there's any contact whatsoever, it's a drive-through penalty to look at the car. So I love the way it teaches those drivers to kind of run close, but no contact. And I think we're going to see so many drivers coming out of Skip Barber over the next couple of years. Lights out on the pace car. We're going to go back to racing. It'll be 7 to go. We'll put 13 in the record books here when they come back around. 7 laps remaining. We'll see if we can have a dash to the end here. Taylor, Schrag, Garcia, Corey, and Brienne's in the top 5, and we're back at it. The green flag flies. Into turn number 1 once again. Oh, and Thomas Schrag on the gearbox. He'll work his way through the corner. Schrag stays right with him and watch for Garcia, again, to be aggressive. But again, he knows that his primary contender right now, Papasavas, out of this race, or at least off a lap. It's a big one for him. He can get a little more aggressive, but here comes around the outside. That is Sam Corey. He knows he's got to get the best of his teammate here. Corey on the outside. Can he get the run? Down into turn number 4. Side by side, Pabst Racing in 3rd and 4th. Right behind them, Brienza and Giafoni. Corey knows he needs the points. He may be a teammate, but I'm here to race for a championship as well. He'll deep it down into the core. Corey's got a good run around the outside. Can they hold it through the corner? Corey's there. He's going to get the inside coming into 5, but you can be sure that Garcia will try to hold the outside because that'll give him the inside to turn number 6. Such a tough corner, side by side right now. And finally, Garcia able to hold the position. Works her way down to the spot, so Garcia still in third. That battle lets the VRD guys go a little bit. They got probably 3 or 4 car lengths with that side-by-side fight. Taylor and Schrag 1-2. Everybody else coming down into Thunder Valley. They'll work their way back up to turn number 10 and 11. Max Taylor looking for another win. He is back significantly in the points right now, 54 points, but another win here, racking up 30-plus points would be huge for him to get into the championship fight. Could he win both championships, junior and 2000? That remains to be seen. A little further back, look at this 3-wide battle here. That, I believe, is Hauk, Armstrong, and Ficuri. 3 wide coming in here. Rusty Bell, they're in front of you right now, coming out of turn number 1.
A little bit of dust being kicked up, going 3 wide through turn 1. They're still 2 and 3 wide. Now they're almost 4 wide going into the keyhole turn. We'll see how that shakes out. They drop back and they're side by side, coming onto the back straightaway. Leaders now single file this time down the straightaway until we get back just a little bit further. A little peek out there. The back part of the field, the number 12 car does a peek out. Jameson, side by side.
No change at the front as they run single file. We look back further and watches that number 11 car of Armstrong. He was being challenged there, but is able to hold on to his position there at 9th.
And leaders up over turn number 8. Side-by-side battle for second. That is Max Taylor and Thomas Schrag and Max Garcia. Schrag still looking to the inside. He'll fall back in line, single file, up through turn number 11.
I had mentioned that battle for 3rd and 4th kind of gave a little bit of a gap for Schrag. Well, that went away in 1 lap as Schrag now having to battle, as Steve said, with Garcia. Corey right there as well. So the scrap continuing here for P2, and this is potentially another win for Max Taylor. This kid is on a roll right now. He won the back end of the doubleheader at Road America. He won the first race here at Mid-Ohio. He's looking to go 3 wins potentially in the last 4 races. He's got a hot hand right now. The New Jersey driver, look at it. They're battling behind. Schrag's in full defense mode, kind of handing the victory over to Max Taylor, but we would still have to go green to the very end, and you never know what happens in these races, especially 2 wide, a couple of rows in, all the way through the keyhole right now. Schrag battling it out. Garcia was right there. Giafoni, I believe, was on the outside, and Corey as well. So 2 wide for second and 3rd, and 4th and 5th. How about 3 wide? Why not? Here they come down to the corner. Who's going to get it? Garcia has to check up. He may have lost a spot there. Garcia on the inside. Schrag still has the position, but I think that is Sam Corey. He is being super aggressive, and he needs that right now. Corey, 3rd place in points. He's got to go after it, especially with Garcia. If he can finish in front of Garcia, he chips away a couple of more points. So that's the battle right now, especially with Papa Savas off, and there's a driver who's gone around. I think that might have been Ayrton Hauk coming out of turn at number 6, potentially around there. Not sure whether or not he'll be able to re-fire. Tom Michaels, can you see him?
Yeah, he's just off of turn number 6 to the inside. Not sure whether he is high-centered. I think he was able to keep the engine going, but it may be dead now.
Tom, I said that was Ayrton Hauk. It was actually Carson Eder, I believe. That's the DC Autosport teammate, just to give you an update there.
So it's just sitting there, half on the racetrack, half in the grass, and the safety team is there now.
Thank you, Tom. We've got it on the screen here as well. And John, we know what's happening there. He is high-centered because of the way the drop-off goes. He just simply can't go anywhere. The crew's just going to push him back, I would bet, and he'll be able to fire off. He may even stay on the lead lap if they get him pushed back enough. It looked to me like a quick signal there. He just needed to get pushed back and maybe refired. So hopefully no damage to the car of Carson Eder here as he falls down now to the 13th position. He'll be at the tail end of the lead lap. We do have a replay of this, so let's see what happened with Carson Eder on the scrap. I believe he was potentially fighting there with Lucas Ficuri and Maxwell Jameson. Here's the shot here, coming down the hill. Yeah, he's fighting with the 2 drivers here. Into the corner. I don't know that there was contact or if he just kind of lost it a bit. Maybe a little bit of contact, John, a little tap there. And as he was kind of trying to rotate the car in, whether the tap was from behind or the side, he just had the wheel on to get around the corner. And, of course, you're at full grip at that point. And when you get that tap, not much you can do. Around he went. So hopefully they get him back. There he is right there. Yep, great job for the AMR Indy car safety team. And Eder back underway. Doesn't lose a lap either.
That's great. Yeah, hopefully he should be able to catch up with the back of the pack, I think, as they're just now coming up in front of Tom Michaels. So if he can hustle, he'll catch him up and be ready to go. Just coming by our vantage point right now.
He'll have to hustle for sure, as you had said. But, John, look at this. It's going to be, I think we'll probably go green this next time by. That'll be lap 17. We're going to have a 3-lap dash at the end of this one. Taylor had been able to pull away as Schrag was battling it out. Sam Corey did go to third, so let's reset that. Taylor, your leader. Schrag second. Corey up to third with a really nice move. Garcia holds on for fourth. Joey Brienza right there, P5 once again. Giafoni runs in sixth. Hudson Schwartz in seventh. Ayrton Hauk eighth. Apologize to any Hauk fans out there who thought might have been listening and like, oh, what happened? No, he's still in the 8th spot. Remember, he started back in 13th, so a +5 so far for Ayrton. Quinn Armstrong in 9th and Lucas Ficuri rounding out the top 10. It was Ficuri and Jameson who were battling it out there. Pace car's off. We're going to go back at it here. We're going to get 3 laps remaining here when they come back to green. And again, Max Taylor, great jump coming out of the last corner of the racetrack to get the green flag, and we're underway. Schrag has been under pressure in every one of the restarts here. Corey this time the driver who will put the pressure on him. Through turn number 1. Cleanly through at this point here, the 67 of Elliot Cox back into pit lane again. He's been in and out of pit lane, currently in the 15th position. Little brake lock up on the right front there for Max Taylor. Will that be of concern over the next 3 laps? You don't want to be locking that brake up. He does have a pretty good lead right now, though a couple of car lengths, as you can see, over his teammate Thomas Schrag. This is the thing, too. Max Taylor 100% is looking for this win, but Thomas Schrag is a driver, John, who is absolutely begging for that victory. He's been trying to get it. He wants that win so badly. Side by side, Corey on the inside. That's for third. Taylor on the, Garcia on the outside. He'll swing wide. Right there is Brienza. He was looking to try to capitalize as well. Brienza P5. Giafoni there with the scholarship colors. That white nose on the number 1 machine. He runs in that 6th position. And again, there's your leaders. The VRD cars out 1-2. They have had such a good weekend. Dan Mitchell's operation have just been amazing. 4 wins already, 2 for Nikita Johnson, 2 for Max Taylor. Taylor got 1 in juniors and 1 in USF2000. He's trying to bag his 2nd USF2000 win of the weekend. Primary challenger, another VRD car right now, and that's Thomas Schrag. They'll work their way out of turn number 12, the carousel, through 13. 2 laps to go this time by. And a great run here. They got some gap to play with as well. There is no challenge up front for these 2 VRD drivers. This is looking very good. Does Schrag have anything, Rusty Bell, you think, for Max Taylor?
Well, so far, no, although we saw that brake lockup. We'll watch them this time into the keyhole turn. Looks like they're clean this time. No real significant brake lockup anyway, but it's about a car length and a half through the exit of the keyhole. Keep an eye on those 2. As you mentioned, no pressure from the 3rd place car. Well back right now is Sam Corey. But down, it's closing up now. It's a car length as they go by me. Now he's peeking to the outside.
Has to tuck back in behind. It continues to be Taylor, then Schrag. A little bit tighter line going through 5 for Max Taylor. They head down into 6. Everybody single file through this part of the racetrack.
And the teammates up over top of turn number 8, down through turn number 9, right up against that red and white curving. Still about a car length and a half between the top 2 of Taylor and Schrag. Sam Corey about another car length back, and then Max Garcia trying to close in for that 3rd position.
And you think about the 2 drivers up front. Taylor's thinking championship. Schrag, all he wants is the win. He'll be the hungrier of the 2 on this final lap. He got a really good run down into turn number 4. At that last lap and potentially tried to go to the outside. If Schrag wants a race win, he's going to have to get super aggressive. White flag flying, final lap here. And the last of the 7 events of the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tire, this Tatis Grand Prix. Taylor leads, Schrag second. And remember, Schrag just joined VRD here this weekend. It's not like he's got the family feel for it. He wants a race win. Further back, same thing. The 2 Pabst drivers are battling it out. That's Garcia and Corey. Corey has 3rd, Garcia 4th. But here we go. This will be the run down the straightaway. The draft worked very well for Schrag. He's not right with them coming out of turn number 2 through 3. If Schrag is going to get a race win, it'll come here at Mid-Ohio. This is the best opportunity. Corey's going to defend to the inside on Garcia. He's going to try to run the rail on him. Garcia on the outside, but not quite side by side. Corey runs him out a little bit, as anyone would. Good job there for Corey. Right there, Brienza looking to capitalize. But again, when you get through turn number 6, it's almost done in terms of passing opportunities. Thomas Schrag wanted that race win, but it could be a P2 finish for the driver. He had a ton of bad luck yesterday as they worked their way out of here over through turn number 9. A little dust up there. But right now, it's a great lead here for Max Taylor. Is he going to do it again? Will this be another win? 3 on the weekend. He'll work his way out of the carousel. I don't think Schrag's anywhere close to even make a dive bomb move. They'll come out of 12 through 13. And ladies and gentlemen, back-to-back-to-back jacks. 3 wins for Max Taylor at Mid-Ohio. 2 in USF2000, 1 in USF Juniors. 5 wins on the weekend, 5 of the 7 for VRD Racing. That will be a fun team dinner this evening. Wow, they had a fantastic weekend. Max Taylor with the win, Thomas Schrag in second, Sam Corey back up on the podium. And remember, it's not a lot of points. He's third in points, but he beat the point leader. He beat his teammate Max Garcia. So Corey inching a little bit closer, as does Max Taylor. Papasavas, as we know, with the issue, finishing a lap down back in 14th position. But Taylor, Schrag, and Corey will be the ones on the podium. Garcia ends up in 4th. Another solid result for Max Garcia, banging out those top 5s en route to a potential championship. Joey Brand's a great run as well. He's still in the championship fight. He sits himself there in P5. Nicholas Giaffoni, overall great weekend for Nicholas. On the podium, 1 race, but he has been top 10 material all weekend long. Hudson Schwartz fighting his way back up. He didn't have the pace earlier in the week, really able to get things going for Hudson. And then number 22, he goes to 7th. Ayrton Hauk, another finish. Remember, started 13th, plus 5 on the day. He goes to 8th. Quinn Armstrong 9th, and Lucas Facuri rounding out the top 10. And John, as they circulate, I want to add a little bit to the story for Thomas Schrag. We called it yesterday. The shock cover comes off the car, gets caught in the wing, the left side of the rear wing, of course, a parachute, everybody driving around him. They bring him in, they get that cover put back on. He goes back out, sets fast lap of the race to start on pole. That's obviously helped him out. He ends up second. He came in, remember at the end of that session, we weren't sure why. To add insult to injury, the fire extinguisher went off when he was on the racetrack at the end of that race. Can you believe that? Like, he told me yesterday, I could not believe it. Yesterday was horrible for Thomas Schrag. He's on the podium here today. Yeah, and that's his first podium on the season, so he's got to be pleased with that. Agreed. So Taylor, Schrag, and Corey, 1, 2, 3. They'll work their way in here right now. But, man, for Max Taylor, he and I talk a lot about this, the change year on year, and every driver will grow in this series. Some of them are 14, 15, 16 years of age. They're just growing as young men and women as they come into the series. But just the knowledge they gained from 1 year. Max Taylor last year got a couple penalties in USF Juniors here last year. He was impulsive. He was maybe overly aggressive. Some of the moves maybe weren't the right decision. He's changed so much this year. He's uttering those words like patience, taking my time. Like the difference we've seen from him from last year to this year is why we're seeing him here in Victory Lane 3 times this weekend. Yeah, and you know, he's really making a championship charge here. If you count the win in the second round at Road America, he's won 3 of the last 4 races in this series to go along with his win in juniors. So, it's pretty good. There's Dan Mitchell giving him a big hug. Jacob Loomis there as well. The crew coming around Max. Listen, this kid's the hottest guy in the series here right now. Like you said, question. 3 of the last 4. He's the point leader in USF Juniors, too. Yeah. This is a crazy year so far for Max Taylor. I'm going to go down them, join them right now. John, I'll let you wrap things up here once again, my friend. Always a pleasure. Like you said, I think we're into our 3rd decade working together, and it is a treat to be invited into your booth here at Mid-Ohio. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. It's my pleasure. Thank you, Rob. As Rob makes his way down to the victory podium, once again, you can see on the big screen the top 10. Max Taylor, the hottest driver in the series right now, is winning 3 of the last 4 races to go along with a win earlier in the season at Indianapolis on the road course there. So now his 4th win on the season. He's going to close right up on Max Garcia in the battle for the championship as they head up to Toronto in a couple weeks' time. And then close out the season with a triple header at Portland. This championship is far, far from settled. Sam Corey again entering this weekend a 3rd in the points. So with the trouble for Evagores Papasavas, who moved up into 2nd in the points, both Corey and Max Taylor will most likely leapfrog him to move up into 2nd and 3rd respectively. Max Taylor, I'm guessing, again, just unofficial math here, looks like he might well be up into that top spot. Maxwell Jamison finishing in 11th spot. Giovanni Cabrera, held on for a 12th place finish. Carson Etter with that late problem drops back to 13th. Papasavas, again, tough luck getting involved in that incident. Dropped him down to 14th. He did finish the race, but he was a lap down to the leaders. Elliott Cox had a troubled day as well and finished
multiple laps down, but in 15th position. Jace Bacon, of course, knocked out with that spin there in front of Tom Michaels, Brady Golan, and Michael Costello out on the first lap incident. So unfortunately, you got to finish to score points, and that was a tough break for those drivers. But great job again for Max Taylor. What a great weekend here. Like I said, 3 wins over the 2 championships that he's competing in. He's got to be pleased with the way this season is working, and VRD definitely giving him the tools he needs to take that car toward the front. And Thomas Schrag got to feel good for him, notching his first podium on the season after tough luck yesterday. Knocked out of the race, had to come back in and basically used it as a qualifying session since he was at the back of the pack in clean air, and he turned the fastest lap of the race, and that put him on the pole for this race. And that's the advantage, and he put it to good use, leading much of this race, and eventually his teammate Taylor got around him. But they made it a 1-2 for VRD Racing, 3-4 for Pabst Racing, exclusive Autoport for Joey Brienza coming home in the 5th spot. D-Force, Nicholas Giaffoni, the reigning USF Juniors champion, with the number 1 plate on his car. Pabst Racing again with Hudson Schwartz, DC Autosport again with Ayrton Hoke, doing his great job there, as Rob said, starting in 13th position, coming home in the top 10. That's a good recovery drive for him. And then the 3 D-Force Racing teammates, Quinn Armstrong, Lucas Facuri, and Maxwell Jameson, and the other exclusive Autosport car in Giovanni Cabrera. And it sounds like Rob's down at the podium. Let's send it down to him for the final podium celebration for USF Championships this weekend.
Thank you so much, John. Indeed, down here ready to wrap things up. Again, 7 races on the weekend. We cap one off here on a Sunday morning, gorgeous Sunday morning, with a tremendous battle. We had fights all the way through the field, and some of these are going to be ones we look back at when we talk about the championship battle. Again, wrapping up this weekend's Tatis Grand Prix here at Mid-Ohio. 3 deserving drivers will join me up here on the podium. Let's start with the driver who fought for the championship here this weekend. A great drive, got by his teammate, finishing in 3rd spot for Pabst Racing, Sam Corey. Finishing in 3rd. 3rd place in the points. Had to cut it in there, and of course Garcia with the point lead, so great job for him to cut into that point advantage. Finishing in 2nd, folks, this has been a tough weekend for this driver. I've never seen a guy with the worst luck at the racetrack. He's got all the speed, as we know. Tough day yesterday, but he turns it around here today as part of a VRD 1-2, folks. The Ohio driver finishing in 2nd. A round of applause for Thomas Schrag. Kid needed this one. What a fantastic drive for Thomas. Was in the middle of the fight. We thought maybe it was going to be a last lap scrap, but not quite enough. But the driver who came to me here and said, that's a pretty good weekend. How about 3 wins, folks? Ladies and gentlemen, what a great drive. The winner again today. 3 wins on the day. Max Taylor, the triple on the weekend. Is this the best weekend you've ever had in racing?
Yeah, I mean, this was an amazing weekend. I can't believe the weekend we've had, and it's just perfect to cap it off with a 1-2 for the team. We won 5 out of 7 races this weekend. The VRD team was on fire. I can't thank them enough.
A good fight with your teammate Thomas Schrag as well. What did you think of those last couple of laps? On that restart, he took a look a couple of times.
Yeah, I mean, in the race I started 6th, so I definitely had some wood to chop. I was able to get up to the lead pretty quickly and hold it. The safety cars didn't really play to my hand, but I was able to control them very well and almost put up a really good fight. He has a lot of perseverance, and he's a very talented driver.
Who do you want to thank today, my friend?
I want to thank the whole VRD team, Dan Mitchell, Jacob Loomis, my parents, everyone that helps out. I'm just so thankful.
Congratulations. Get on top of that podium. For the 3rd time on the weekend, folks, he's a point leader in USF Juniors, and he closes the gap potentially in USF2000 as well. These series, of course, ready to wrap up at the end of August at Portland, but USF Juniors still has to go to Road America. These drivers here as well in USF2000 and USF Pro 2000 will be going to Toronto in a couple of weeks for the street circuit event. I'll tell you, this has been a barn burner of a weekend, and as Max had mentioned, VRD Racing, 5 of the 7 wins across the 3 series. Incredible work. We'll bring our Continental guys in here. Come on in, guys. Get up on the podium there. We'll get a couple of shots here. Great way to start off the day. Obviously, some tremendous racing still for all of you with the Indy Next and the IndyCar program. Getting ready to get at it here as well. Just a great way to start the day. Beautiful blue skies here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. And, of course, wrapping up, as I said, 7 races as part of the USF Pro Championships presented by Continental Tires here at Mid-Ohio. Always a pivotal event in the championship battle. You come in here and make it all happen like Max Taylor has done and how his teammate Nikita Johnson has done. They are right in the middle of a championship fight. Max Garcia still leading the points in USF 2000. Lockie Hughes in USF Pro 2000. Max Taylor here is now the leader in USF Juniors. That fight for the title and the over $1.8 million in prizes and scholarships will go all the way to Portland. But we will wrap things up here today, guys. Drop your trophies down. Get out to the champagne. It's time to grip it and rip it. Celebration time here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Max Taylor, a 3rd victory on the weekend as he is able to get the better of his teammate Thomas Schrag. His first podium here as well in USF 2000 competition. And Sam Corey, a solid run to overcome his teammate Max Garcia to get crucial points in the championship battle. That wraps things up here from Mid-Ohio. Those of you who have tuned in on the broadcast on the USF Pro Championship YouTube channel or on the downloadable app, we want to thank you again for your following and for your support of our series. We do appreciate it. Hope you had a fantastic morning wherever you are. Indy next and IndyCar still to come here at Mid-Ohio. And again, folks, on behalf of Anderson Promotions and Continental Tire, my name is Rob Howden. Bye for now.